control by the end of next summer. I'm Pam Huso, Fox News. That from the creator of the Pfizer vaccine that received approval from the FDA last night for emergency use. The first doses could be administered to healthcare workers as early as Monday.
We have delivered a safe and effective vaccine in just 9 months. This is one of the greatest scientific accomplishments in history.
President Trump calls the development a medical miracle. A second vaccine made by Moderna could be approved by the FDA next week. As the Pfizer vaccine won approval, the U.S. set another record in virus cases and hospitalizations. Nearly 232,000 new infections were tallied yesterday, according to Johns Hopkins. Oral arguments will be heard by Wisconsin Supreme Court today. A lawsuit filed by the Trump campaign seeks to invalidate more than 200,000 ballots in the presidential election. The Supreme Court will not consider a lawsuit challenging President-elect Joe Biden's victory in 4 swing states. The lawsuit brought by Texas was backed by President Trump.
As most court watchers expected, they said no to Texas. You can't go after Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. And about how they voted, those 4 states had saying, if you take away our votes as cast by 39 million voters, you're disenfranchising them. Texas had argued, well, you, by changing all of your rules at the last minute, taking away things like possibly witnesses or signatures, those kinds of things, changing the mail-in process, you have watered down your votes and made it possible for there to be fraud.
Fox's Shannon Bream, in a tweet, the president said the Supreme Court really let us down. A temporary funding bill signed by President Trump will keep the government running for another week. There's still no agreement on a pandemic relief bill. America's listening to Fox News.
Got somewhere to go? We'll help you get there on time. Get traffic updates every 6 minutes in the morning on Jacksonville's Morning News with Rich Jones. Weekdays from 5 till 9 on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
As a woman, you've spent years taking care of everyone else. And now you're nearing retirement, or maybe you're already retired. This time, it's your turn. You get to make choices for you. Will your retirement be filled with travel, time with your grandchildren, and days spent reading or painting or laughing with friends? It's your retirement. You get to write the script. Jeanette Bajalia and her team at Woman's Worth specialize in helping women plan for the rest of their lives. They want those years to be the best of your life. At Woman's Worth, it's more than the money. It's about total well-being. Your emotional, physical, spiritual, and financial well-being is what makes the rest of your life the best of your life. Call Woman's Worth today at 800-366-8022 and make an appointment to start planning for your retirement. Call 800-366-8022 right now. It's your turn now, and you deserve it. Call Woman's Worth at 800-366-8022. Investment management services recommended by Petros Advisory Services, LLC, a registered investment advisor headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida.
Peninsular Pest Control is family-owned and operated and has served Northeast Florida since 1954. Call Peninsular Pest Control today or visit CritterGetter.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy payroll customer.
Well, it's very easy to use. From the login and the setup was extremely easy. I didn't have to call anyone for help. I was able to do it on my own. And I love the fact that I can run my payroll and print my pay stubs, and then you guys do all of the filing for me. So I get a quarterly report that everything's been filed on my behalf, and then at the end of the year I can print out my W-2s. So I use you guys. I tell everybody, it's the easiest thing I've ever done. Why anybody doesn't use y'all, I don't know.
Visit us at PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Hey, by now you've heard me talk about MyPillow, how it's changed my life. Mike Lindell, MyPillow, he's the inventor. I've been raving about all MyPillow products. If you don't own a MyPillow or know someone who doesn't own one, now's the time to buy, because for a limited time, Mike is offering his premium MyPillows, yes, the one that started it all, at the lowest price ever. You get a standard queen premium MyPillow, $29.98. That's it. Originally $69.98. It's a $40 savings. King's only $5 more, and now is the time to buy. Not only are you getting the lowest price ever, but Mike is extending his 60-day unconditional money-back guarantee and giving you to March 1st. 2021. Go to mypillow.com. Don't forget, click on the Sean Hannity Square. There you will find not only this amazing offer, but deep discounts on other MyPillow products, like their Giza Dream Sheets, the MyPillow mattress topper, the MyPillow towel set. Enter the promo code Hannity, 800-919-6090, and you'll get the sleep you need, want, crave, and deserve.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
A 10 on the WOKV weather meter. After some patchy morning fog, will give way to partly sunny skies to partly cloudy skies in the afternoon. Mild temperatures reaching the low 70s. Just an isolated shower possible for today and into the evening, an isolated sprinkle or shower. But again, a lot of neighborhoods stay dry. Overnight will be partly cloudy with an isolated inland shower early, but overnight lows in the upper 50s with some areas of fog developing. With your First Alert Forecast, I'm Action News Jax meteorologist Garrett Bedenbaugh for 104.5 WOKV.
This is the WOKV Ask the Experts Weekend, discussing things that matter most to you. Local experts answering your questions. Call 855-765-1045. That's 855-765-1045. Now, the Home and Garden Show with Wally Conway and Larry O'Neill.
Good morning. Welcome to the Home and Garden Show. It is 6:06 on a beautiful Saturday morning in Jacksonville, Florida, the intergalactic headquarters of the Home and Garden Show. To our friends, to our fans, to our families, welcome back to the show. We have missed you. To those of you new to the show, here's who we are and what we do. Each and every Saturday from 6 until 8 a.m. right here on 104.5 WOKV. I'm joined by the big guy, Sasquatch, the Yeti, 6'6", 232 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal, Mr. Larry O'Neill. You know Larry from his duties on TV as the host of Larry's Garden. You've seen him about town landscaping. He's the tall, tall man in the small straw hat. Me, Wally Conway, Mr. Home Inspection, certified master inspector from HomePro Inspections. You've seen me on Home and Garden TV and possibly about town if you spend time in attics and crawl spaces. Larry's job here on the show is to be sure your grass is green, your fruit is sweet, and your flowers forever in bloom. Me, Wally Conway, Mr. Home Inspection, my job is to be sure your home is safe, secure, efficient, and forever a source of pleasure and pride. From time to time, Larry gets a house idea, I get a garden idea, we mix it up in the middle. But what makes the show fun for us is you. Your thoughts, your calls, your commentary. Here comes the phone number, 855-765-1045. And a reminder, Larry is broadcasting live and remotely from the Larry's Garden World Headquarters. I am broadcasting live remotely from Studio C, and our good buddy Scott is taking care of things in the Cox Media Intergalactic Headquarters, and it all merges together, waiting for that call from you at 855-765-1045. Sasquatch Large Man, how are you? Fine, sir.
I'm doing great. How about you?
I am just marvelous. I'm sitting here at Studio C. Everything is just marvelous. Got the coffee brewing. Fresh coffee, fresh ideas, and just a great outlook on the day. I'm excited about the whole thing. I got to tell you, we have a little bit of adventure going on here at the condo. Condo built in 1969. 1969 was kind of the end period for cast iron waistlines, the nice big old steel ones. It seemed like the right thing to do for about 50 or 70 years. But here we are 60 years later, and those wonderful pipes have served us well under the ground, poo flowing through them without significant issue. And now they're beginning to fail. And they're doing something interesting. Every single pipe that is for every condo unit, and I believe there's 138, the vertical pipes, the lateral waistlines, they're sewer scoping every single one of them and developing a document that says, okay, here is the state of the waistlines. And then from that, craft a plan of which things need to happen imminently, which things can wait a little bit, but ultimately it's all going to need to be cared to. And technology has evolved in an amazing way. What they're able to do is after the assessment using the sewer scope, they have another device that goes down that it puts essentially what looks like a nylon sock. If you could imagine a sock that was immensely long, it puts this sock in there, blows it up with a little bit of air. So now it's a sock inside of all this waistline. And then it pumps in a coating of an epoxy type material. It puts a coating on it that's maybe 3/8 of an inch thick, and a light that comes out, the light cures it as it removes. So those pipes will be completely relined. It's almost like it's not PVC, but it would be similar to putting a PVC liner inside of the pipe. And they say that will go for 70 to 100 years. So there's no scenario where the pipe doesn't outlive me. What do you think?
I don't think you'll be worrying about it in 70 to 100 years from today.
No.
But,
no.
We've had a lot of people calling in on the, problems with the lawn about worms. Remember, we for like 3 weekends in a row, people were calling about how to get rid of worms. Worms are good for the yard, but people are complaining about it. The guy called in last week about the red wigglers. And some of the things that, I remember that I've done or other people have done is soapy water. Soapy water is very good to get rid of the worms. Worms are going to attract the moles, and people want the worms gone because the moles are...
Do worms have eyes?
No, they don't have eyes.
In their eyes? Is that how it works?
No, it gets in their, I think they're called vacuoles, or there's a breathing, like pores where they absorb oxygen on the side of their bodies. All insects have that. And what it does is the soap gets in there and clogs it up, and they suffocate from it. But so you want to put some soapy water. It's around maybe 4 to 5 tablespoons of soap, 3 tablespoons of soap. Put it in a hose and sprayer. Mix it up. You want to mix your hose and sprayer up to 3 to 5 tablespoons per gallon, and put that on your lawn. That should bring them to the surface, and that will wipe them out. And also, because we're trying to get rid of the moles, that's what the object is, get rid of the moles, and because the moles are after the worms. Also add some garlic in there and some cayenne pepper, because that will repel. That works as a mole repellent. Castor oil. Remember they used to make this. They still probably make it. I think it's called Mole Guard, but it's put down as a granular, but it's each one of the granular units are impregnated with I think castor oil, garlic, a few other organic things, and it repels the moles. And it gives you around 24 hours of residual effect, and then you could do it a couple times, and that should knock out the worm problem. Also, it's going to get rid of grubs and assorted other soil-borne insects. It's going to get rid of any insects in your lawn. So when you apply it, you want to water for maybe around 30 minutes afterwards. Make sure it gets some penetration in it, and then you should you get your result fairly quickly. And it holds in there for around 24 hours in another application. It should knock it out. Gets rid of grubs, gets rid of all these, anything that you could be damaging the grass, and hopefully by adding some garlic to it and some cayenne pepper, that would get rid of the situation with the lawns.
It's interesting, Larry. It seems like every pest that comes into a yard, no matter what's going on, every single pest, large or small, is there either to eat or to breed. And on the eating end of it, the further down the food chain we stop the problem, the easier it is. So the worm. The mole is there to eat the worm, and the armadillo is there to eat the mole, and the wild boar is there to eat the armadillo. It's this continual daisy chain, and the further down the chain we start, the healthier it becomes.
Yeah. Yes. Also the armadillos are after digging for worms and grubs. So if they find them in your lawn, they're going to be out there plowing the dirt up a little bit, looking for those types of insects. That's what they really like. So if you have an armadillo problem, you may want to consider doing that. So that's the situation on the moles. But I had a interesting question, about oak trees. The lady called me about her oak trees, and she said she had mushrooms going around the base of the tree, and she and she wanted to know what to do about it. And that is actually a fungus, and it's called honey fungus. It's actually, if you smell it, it will do how to identify what type of mushroom you have. Mushrooms are fungus. Is smelling it, and it will smell like honey. That's why the namesake. It's kind of a bay, small mushroom, maybe around probably about half an inch, or maybe a little bit bigger or less. And you'll notice it growing around the base, on the roots, even on the tree. Sometimes you'll notice them growing on the tree if you're in an advanced state of that. And that means basically your tree has been seriously damaged, underground or internally. And there's really not much you could do about it. It can transfer to your other tree. And the way you asked, one of our best recommendations is, because it's a big tree and it's, it's been there for a while, best recommendations is take it down. Because if you don't take it down, it's going to fall down on its own. Because underground, the fungus has attacked the root system, and the root system is extremely weak. And it may not fall the first wind, but the second one's probably going to get it. And basically, the fungus has invaded the root system and rotted it out and destroyed it. So I know it looks, and you'll notice, how do you notice it on the trees? You'll notice by the mushrooms, you'll notice by the some branch drop, you'll notice wilting and thinning of the tree. That would be indicated, coupled with that, you got a pretty diseased tree.
So by the time you see the mushroom bloom, it's pretty much game over. It's like an iceberg. You're seeing the tip of it, and all the damage is below ground in the root.
Right, or inside the tree, and it's a time bomb ticking. So it's if it's out away from the house, and you want to enjoy it for maybe another year or two, and it just goes on like that. And if it falls down, it's easier to cut it. If it falls down, it's easier to get rid of it. If you're handy with a chainsaw, you can cut it up yourself. But if it's around a building or around power lines, or your possibility of falling into your neighbor's over your neighbor's fence or in your thing, the best thing is take it down. There's really no effective treatment for this type of fungus that gets on trees. Oftentimes people always think there's treatment things, but some things are just like human beings. They're fatal. There's no effective treatment. You can make sure that you could put some fungicide around the healthy trees as a preventative. Treat the soil, because it will transfer from one tree to another. So removal is your best bet on honey fungus. Mushrooms at the base of the tree, going off the root system, growing at the very base where it comes to meets the soil. All these are warning signs that you got to take that tree down, or it's coming down by itself. But those are some of the things we did this week. Also, one of the interesting things about seeding grass is the difficult things about seeding grass is getting it down uniformly. Okay, you got this big pile of grass seed. You're supposed to rake it and cover it up. I've had a guy cover it up with 2 inches of dirt. Grass is not going to germinate when it's buried 2 inches of dirt. You completely block the light. It's got to have just barely enough dirt to cover it, keep it moist, and get light. So it's a little time-consuming. You have to be really careful of what you're doing when you're putting down seed. And now the new recommendations are seeding during the winter, seeding during the winter. And so it just gradually warms up and the seeds will germinate. And some of the things that I've found that is effective, the most effective in putting down seed is get yourself a compost spreader. And if you're seeding with Bahia, that's pretty easy. Just put your seed out in the sun. If you want to do it in the spring, put your seed out in the sun for about a day or two. That will kickstart the germination process.
Are you mixing the seed the compost and spreading it, or you're spreading the seed and then covering it with compost?
Exactly. If you mix the seed, if you're starting in the spring, you want to mix this, put the seed in the sun a little bit. If you got seed with zoysia, because it takes 21 days for germination, that will knock it down to around 7 days. And then soak the seed in a little bit of water. Soak it in water for maybe a couple hours. That would get it fully turrid. That means fully pulped up, full of water. You're not going to have to worry about irrigating as much, irrigating to get the seed completely bulked up with water. It's kind of like what you do when you put your sprouts in. You put that little bit of water in there, you get your seed completely saturated with water, and boom, it pops out. So if you're doing it in the spring, you want to do that. Then the next step is you want to get some compost in a wheelbarrow, or you can get some peat moss. And in the winter, you don't want to do that as much because it's not going to. We got temperatures, but you can if we have a warming trend for about 2 weeks. But you want to mix it up in the wheelbarrow real thoroughly. Get the seed mixed up in there, and then you want to put it in your compost spreader and roll it out. You're taking a job that would take you a homeowner job if you had you were seeding Bahia. You're probably talking about 2 days to get a good sized lot. Working on it a day. Well, you're taking that job and you're turning it into about an hour and a half. Job. You drop it in the spreader. It spreads out uniform. It's amazing how well it spreads in uniform. And then when you're spreading it, you're kind of slightly covering it with compost,
So that compost spreader, is that something I can rent, or are they typically affordable?
I don't know if you could rent them. You could check at, Sunbelt Rentals or one of those places.
Yeah.
But you can Seymour makes one. They're around a couple $100.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, a couple $100. You're spending. Landsy makes another one's a couple $100, and you dump it in there. And you can use it on if you're a composter and you want to spread your compost uniformly, and then getting the sticks out of it. A lot of times you spread compost and you have a few sticks and leaves or acorns or just some general debris that you don't want laying out on the lawn. But you put your compost in there, and you make sure it's somewhat dry, and you roll it out with the compost spreader, and all the debris stays in the cylinder. The cylinder is just basically looks like a metal, metal lath they used to put the plaster on. It looks kind of like that. And then it just catches all the, large enough to let the compost go through, but small enough to stop the heavy debris. So you can use that for your compost. If you want to spread manure, or if you wanted a top dressing area neatly, you put your top dressing material in there, whatever you're using, whether it be compost, black cow. It's got to be dry, somewhat dry, and then it spreads it out perfectly even. There's no clumping, no nothing. It rolls. It's a big, huge cylinder that looks like, that has a screen around it, and it just, rolls out, push behind it. It's very easy to do. I mean, if you love, going organic in your lawn, and you want to have compost, peat moss, spread those things out in your yard, if you're making, you got to have one of these, because it makes it so much easier. And if you compost your lawn in the spring, which is a great idea, if you've got the time and the desire to do it, this is a perfect way to make sure your lawn starts out strong in the spring.
Well, I may that may be on my Christmas list, to give all my friends and family members compost spreaders. It's 6:23 here at News 104.5 on Home Garden Show. Brief break, jumping right on the phones. Love hearing from you at 855-765-1045. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Jacksonville's morning news with Rich Jones. Weather and traffic every 6 minutes. And the 3 big things you need to know. Whether you're heading back to the office or staying home a little longer, no matter what your plans are, start your day with us from 5 till 9 a.m. Only on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's news and talk.
If you want outstanding customer service that is backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee, call Peninsular Pest Control today or visit CritterGetter.com for a free consultation.
For more than 25 years, the potential for health improvement is seen with each patient that walks through our doors. Healthcare decisions don't have to be confusing. Make Island Doctors your medical practice.
My husband and I have been coming to Island Doctors for approximately 10 years, and we have been very happy with them, and we trust them.
Call us today and schedule a tour of one of our locations near you and take a look at our Best Wellness program. And welcome home.
Call 1-877-434-4676 or visit islanddoctors.com.
So you're a small business, or a big one. You were thriving, but then, you encountered an obstacle. So how do you bounce back? You don't. You bounce forward. Time to think, plan, pivot. With Comcast Business and powerful connectivity, get serious internet that lets you go bigger. All powered by the nation's largest gig speed network. So you can do more searching, more sharing, more shipping. Which means you've got more time for planning, for making, for running the show. That sounds great if everyone's in the office. But what if no one's in the office? Bring the office to them. From bandwidth at HQ to bandwidth at home. But is your network secure? Of course it's secure. It helps protect connected devices. But how do you do this? You don't do this. We do this together. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next, and bounce forward with Comcast Business. Go to ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
Wally Conway here, Mr. Home Inspection from HomePro Inspections with important information about home warranties. At HomePro Inspections, we have always recommended that every home buyer had a home inspection and a home warranty. It's much like having a physical exam and health insurance. They work together to protect you. Until now, I have never referred or endorsed a home warranty company because, truthfully, they were all about the same. They were only good for 12 months, they had long list of coverage exclusions, and they denied pre-existing conditions. The most comprehensive home warranty in America is now available in Jacksonville, covering items denied by others, including water softeners, well pumps, alarm systems, and there's no extra charge for multiple heat pumps or water heaters. When HomePro inspects your home, the warranty is extended to 18 months of coverage at no extra charge. There's no better inspection and warranty package in America. For details and to order your home warranty, visit GoHomePro.com, GoHomePro.com, or call me at 268-8211.
Hi, I'm Larry Birkins from Birkins Chevy in McClenny. From GA to FLA, we want to thank you. We're celebrating our 10-year anniversary because of you. Come on. At Birkins Chevy, we pride ourselves on being large enough to serve you, but small enough to know you. We're not going to bait and switch you with unrealistic offers. We just give you honest pricing and the best deal for your needs. Come on. Big city deals, small city feels. That's Birkins Chevy, Highway 90 in the heart of McClenny. Chevy, find new roads. Come on.
Dave Benyon here with Zero Res. My favorite part of the holidays is being with the people I love the most. Do you have someone special coming to visit you this holiday season? Do you want everything to look and feel just perfect? We at Zero Res would love to come help you do just that. We can clean your carpets, area rugs, tile and grout, sofas and chairs, and even clean and seal your granite countertops. Our schedule's filling up fast, so call us today. Right now, get your carpets cleaned for only $43 per room. And be sure to ask about the deal on tile and grout. Zero Res spelled forward and backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Is the cost of finishing the basement worth the benefit of some peace and quiet?
When questions find you, Merrill Edge Self-Directed Investing can help you find answers with personalized planning tools and insights to help you get where you want to go, even if it's just downstairs. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/withinreach to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
At home with Robert, retired burglar and family man.
Carolers, that's the holiday spirit. Speaking of which, Simply Safe Home Security is having a huge holiday sale. Right now, you can get 40% off a new system and a free camera at simplysafe.com/holiday. That's 40% off the system U.S. News named the best of 2020. Simply Safe protects your whole home 24/7 with monitoring by professionals. The sale ends soon, so go to simplysafe.com/holiday for 40% off and a free camera today.
Welcome back to the Home and Garden Show. It is 6:29. A reminder, if you need Larry during the week, easy to find all the time online. Larry'sGarden.com. Got the blog, got the video, got the frequently asked questions. And if your question can't be answered there, call Larry directly at 346-1970. Me, Wally Conway, easy to find all the time online. Go HomePro. Home inspections, WDOs, scheduling, infrared, anything you need, due diligence in your residence and commercial building, and the $100,000 after inspection warranty protection with the 5-year roof guarantee program. Not guaranteed to leak, guaranteed to help you get it fixed. It's 6:30 here at News 104.5 on the Home and Garden Show. Brief break after Fox News traffic and weather, and then taking your calls at 855-765-1045. Stay with us. Right back.
Gone are the days when you have to sit by a radio to hear WOKV. Listen whenever and wherever you want. Get the WOKV app for your Apple or Android device so you can take us on the go. 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's news and talk.
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. In a Twitter video posted last night, President Trump said the coronavirus vaccine is on its way.
Through our partnership with FedEx and UPS, we have already begun shipping the vaccine to every state and zip code in the country. The first vaccine will be administered in less than 24 hours.
The Pfizer-made vaccine was given the go-ahead by the FDA Friday evening. But who will be among the first to get it?
While the guidelines are that frontline medical workers and facility-bound seniors be afforded the first chances for vaccination, each state can decide who to prioritize. It is expected that between now and December 31st, 20 million Americans can be inoculated.
Fox's Eben Brown, enough vaccine for the general population isn't expected until spring, and experts urge people to mask up and maintain social distancing this winter. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, local news from CBS 47, Fox 30 Action News Jax.
I'm Action News Jax anchor Lorena Inclan for 104.5 WOKV. Our top story. Congress will pass a bill to keep the government open for another week to buy more time for COVID-19 relief aid. The talks are stalled, but the lawmakers say they won't leave for the year without passing the next round of help. A $900 billion plan does not include $1,200 checks for Americans, but does include $300 weekly federal unemployment checks. A reminder to all business owners, Jacksonville's eviction and foreclosure prevention program has started taking applications. Applicants may receive up to $10,000 to save their businesses. Keep in mind, there's a list of eligibility requirements you must meet. Clorox wipes remain in high demand as COVID-19 cases continue to surge. One of the company's executives said the wipes shortage could last until mid-2021. He says they are producing more wipes than ever, but the demand is staying incredibly high. They plan to increase production by February. Join us tonight at 10:30 on Fox 30.
Did you know breast cancer kills 113 people every day? That's unacceptable.
African American women die from breast cancer nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of all cancer deaths for Hispanic women.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Together with Susan G. Komen, we're committed to reducing U.S. breast cancer deaths by half.
And we're going to do it by 2026.
Visit Komen.org/unacceptable. Over half of all men suffer from ED or PE. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rabinsky. If you're not the man you used to be in the bedroom and Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call 904-217-5646. See results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. 904-217-5646.
Hi, I'm Larry of Larry's Garden. One of my favorite things about the South is great weather, which means more time for outside. And at Larry's Garden, we design, install, and maintain every outdoor project. Need to replace a cracked driveway? We do it. Need a patio, pergola, deck, or pavers? We do it. Let one company, Larry's Garden, complete your entire project. No subcontractors. All work is done by Larry's Garden employees. Low water landscapes, sod replacement, landscape designs that are unbelievable, a complete landscape makeover, we do it. Let one company, Larry's Garden, complete your entire project. Weekly maintenance for communities and commercial locations is also available. For more information, visit larrysgarden.com or call 346-1970. Design, install, maintain. One company, complete project, Larry's Garden.
Have you been lied to? Lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, I'm Inc. Magazine best-selling author Brett Kitchen, and if you're over 55 with an IRA or 401k, I want to give you a free copy of my new book, Wealth Beyond Wall Street, because according to Time Magazine, Wall Street's 401ks have failed millions of Americans. After losing 35% in my IRA in the crash years ago, I said enough. And since then, I discovered a way to grow money potential double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Wealth Beyond Wall Street now to get your free book and talk to a specialist to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose in the market crashes. Call 800-476-5151 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and J.C. Penney use to grow wealthy. Plus, when you call right now, you get free shipping and handling, no credit card required. And I'll send you a free copy of the audiobook so you can listen in your car. Call 800-476-5151. 1-800-476-5151. That's 1-800-476-5151.
Is the cost of finishing the basement worth the benefit of some peace and quiet?
When questions find you, Merrill Edge Self-Directed Investing can help you find answers with personalized planning tools and insights to help you get where you want to go, even if it's just downstairs. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/withinreach to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured, are not bank guaranteed, and may lose value.
At home with Robert, retired burglar and family man.
Carolers, that's the holiday spirit. Speaking of which, Simply Safe Home Security is having a huge holiday sale. Right now, you can get 40% off a new system and a free camera at simplysafe.com/holiday. That's 40% off the system U.S. News named the best of 2020. Simply Safe protects your whole home 24/7 with monitoring by professionals. The sale ends soon, so go to simplysafe.com/holiday for 40% off and a free camera.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
A 10 on the WOKV weather meter. After some patchy morning fog, we'll have partly sunny to partly cloudy skies today. Mild temperatures in the low 70s. And a few isolated afternoon showers possible extending into the early evening, but many neighborhoods stay dry. Overnight lows drop down into the mid to upper 50s with some areas of fog developing once again. With your First Alert forecast, I'm Action News Jax meteorologist Garrett Beatonball for 104.5 WOKV.
Welcome back to the Home and Garden Show, 6:37, beautiful Saturday morning in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm Wally Conway from HomePro Inspections. Larry O'Neill from Larry's Garden is here, enjoying the day together, taking your calls at 855-765-1045. So, Larry, I was sharing with you that here at the condo community, 138 units, sewer scoped every single one of them, and then a company is proposing to use this very creative system. Puts a giant sock, or almost like a couple 100 foot of pantyhose on a spool. That liner goes in, and then it's followed by pumping in an epoxy-like material that seals and coats that line. And how they cure it is there's a light that comes out on the way. So there's 137 units, 38 units, 11 buildings. Let's call it, what does that add up to? Maybe 12 units per building. What do you think the cost is per building to reline cast iron sewer lines? So 12 units, let's just make the math easy. 12 units, cost per building to do each building.
Let me see. I would say $1,200.
$1,200 per building. $30,000 per building. And the good news is that's in lieu of needing to break through concrete walls and tear up concrete floors, which would be, hundreds of thousands potentially, plus all the destruction to finish floors and walls and all that. So about $30,000 per building. When you break it down, it's really only about $2,500 per unit. You go, oh, that's not so bad. $2,500, you're good for another 70 years. Which is really a pretty neat deal. We're figuring out how to do that in stages and how to fund it and all that other good stuff. Roll that over to a homeowner like yourself, and San Marco, Avondale, out in Springfield. where there's still lots and lots of cast iron pipes in our line. Say, $2,500.
And terracotta.
And terracotta, you're exactly right, as well as many other composites. There's even some still Orangeburg pipe. There's asbestos pipe. There's all sorts of pipe that's in a very degraded state, over the last 60 to 110 or 20 years. You got $2,500, man, I'd happily pay $2,500 to do that at my house. But here's the challenge in doing it at your home. It works every bit as well, but the setup cost to bring out all that equipment and do the other things takes that $2,500 and about triples it or quadruples it. So it's a viable process, but generally in an individual home, not practical. The other thing in an individual home, let's use yours as an example. You've got a crawl space. With a crawl space, it's much more cost effective. Just go under there, cut out the old cast pipe, run the PVC pipe out to the edge of the home, and then dig that trench out in the yard. Not a cheap project, but much easier than having to jack up concrete. When we're jacking up concrete, things get very, very expensive very quickly. Not only the destruction to the concrete, but the replacement of the concrete. And then you're like, man, I just put a 1 foot wide trench all the way across, my home. It goes through my living room floor, through my master bedroom. What am I going to do with all the floors? So you can get up into the 10, 20,000 or easily more, depending on the size of the home and how fancy your floors are. And up in your neighborhood, especially the guys down like on River Road, you start looking at travertine marble floors and other beautiful things like that. If you happen to have that on concrete and you've got to tear that up, it gets expensive quick. So it's an interesting thing, and it's also the reminder when you're involved with associations and communities in a purchase, you really got to know what's going on with the short and long-term maintenance and what's the financial solvency of that association, so that when the big things come, and they always do come, you're either doing all the roofs or you're painting the exterior, sealing parking lots, that the funding is in place so that as those things are scheduled over the next year, 3 years, 5 years, I've been involved in associations that schedule out more than 20 years so that you're watching the accumulation of cash in your fund is intercepting the line where you anticipate to spend. So it's real important, real important. I'm sure you've seen some fabulous outcomes as well as some nightmares that relate to irrigation and landscape in communities with associations.
Absolutely. Planning is a good thing, and also taking care of, hey, listen, these problems are going to arise. If no one ever thinks about the drainage problem until it becomes a problem. It comes to, a lot of times we looked at, years ago, we looked at a drainage problem, and what the guy, when they installed the drainage, they put grass right over the top of the concrete, and so it flooded into the house and ruined the floors. You got to always look at, make sure the drainage before you start any project is going to be with you changing the dirt and how things are going to be growing, and you're changing the old contour of the property. You got to look at the drainage issues too. We had one interesting project. Those little coves where they have two buildings that come around the entrance, and their entrances has a wall on each side. Those are, when you got water flooding down in those areas, the water doesn't have anywhere to go, really. It's surrounded on three sides, only has one way to get out. And oftentimes, when you have a structure like that, the best thing is to get some gutters on there. Definitely you want to put some oversized gutters, in fact, if you can, and hook into a good drain system, get it as far away as you can, because so much of that water comes down in that one spot, and it just really floods that spot. I've never really seen too many areas where they had you have your entrance door, you have the building on the right and left side. If you don't have a roof over it, it's going to be a mess. And then if you don't put gutters on it, the next step is going to be a problem. So getting rid of that issue. And then the next best thing when you have those little situations like that is to bury some drainage lines so it wicks some of the water, because you're going to have an overload there. That area, all that water is going in that little spot. It's going to be overloaded, buried some drainage line, French drain system, and then vent it out like that, and you should be good. Getting rid of those issues before they become real issues. We were working on one place where actually the drainage had been dumping in that area like that without a roof on it, and the whole staircase gave way and collapsed. So it's that long, protracted problem in those areas that causes the staircase to give out, the wood to get rotted, undermining of if you have a slab. So drainage is one of the important things here, especially when we get like 10 or 15 inches all at one time, addressing the drainage projects first, and making sure you're doing good on that before you begin your landscape project.
It still mystifies me that every person in Florida doesn't have gutters on their home, and that those gutters don't discharge 6, 10, 20, 30 feet away from the home. These things are so easy to manage, and it's so much easier to capture water on the roof and discharge it where you want, rather than have it fall to the ground, splash against the house, begin the erosion, the ponding, and all the other maladies. And it's less expensive, more often than not, to gutter and discharge from the downspouts than it is to do, exotics once it gets to the ground. It's always the first line of defense. The water came from the sky, captured in the sky, and then divert it and direct it to its appropriate place.
Absolutely. Remember those houses they built in the 70s where they had the eaves was around 4 foot away from the end of the eaves, the roof line?
Yeah, I love that. That was real common in the Clouthier houses, the prairie style.
Yes.
But do you know why we stopped doing those 4 foot overhangs, those beautiful 4 foot eaves?
Hurricanes.
The wind requirements, the insurance requirements were so unfavorable to the uplift factor that came from those overhangs sticking over there that they're virtually non-existent. They're not illegal in any way. You could still do it, but in order to engineer the tie downs and whatnot to account for that uplift is fantastically expensive. But that's
the only house you probably don't need to have a gutter on, because the water dumps like 4 feet away from the edge.
I'm still a fan of capturing it. In fact, some of those homes had gutters integral to the roof, so they didn't hang off the eave. They were built into the eave where the water would come down and discharge internal to it. Those are absolutely gorgeous. However, it's a maintenance nightmare, both in terms of keeping them clean.
Maintenance nightmare.
And if you got a leak, you usually didn't notice it until the soffit underneath was all rotted out, and then the rafter tails were rotted. So it's very, very uncommon to see that in residential construction any longer. But it does perform exceptionally well if properly engineered out of the right materials and maintained, especially as it relates to debris. But essentially, that's what we see on flat roofs, certainly on commercial buildings where there's a flat roof or nearly flat slate grade to it, and then a parapet wall all the way around it. We capture the water and discharge it very often internal to the building. There's buildings all over town you're driving by that have internal gutters that discharge right through the building and then out into the parking lot. So there's lots of ways to do things. It's all just about thinking it through. How do I get the water maintained, captured and discharged? And then what are the maintenance implications of the system? And then the final piece is, what's the consequence of failure? So as an example, on those buildings that have the discharge pipes inside the home or inside the building, if you have a failure of that pipe for some reason or another, you're discharging an entire roof's worth of water inside the building. That's not a favorable outcome.
There's going to be a big cleanup for sure. You know what I mean? On that one,
There's a building here on San Jose Boulevard in Mandarin that has that exact situation. And if I told you which building it was, you would know it, and virtually everyone who ever drives down San Jose would know it. But they had chased that problem for years and years of troubleshooting leaks in internal gutters. But if you could imagine, a 4,000 or 5,000 foot open space with what looks like columns discharge, coming down that you would normally think were supporting the roof, and they're actually pipes with water discharging through them, and they ended up with leaks at the pipe tops and leaks at the joints at the floor. I'm like, oh wow. My God. In one sense, it was a fabulous idea. The problem was in the execution that the architect had a vision. The vision the architect had wasn't executed by the contractor in material selection or fineness of workmanship. So put it that way.
Wow. And that's not something you can solve with just a small bucket there when they come discharge off the roof.
No, and the roof was designed to shed water that way. It had this big brick parapet wall around it. It was beautiful, but it wasn't intended to shed water to the edges, but rather toward the center. And you can't unscrew that without a complete redesign of the roof. So it was very complex. It's 6:50 here at News 104.5 on a Home and Garden Show. Brief break, jumping right back to your calls at 855-765-1045. Stay with us. Be right back.
Rain and thunderstorms are an everyday part of life in Northeast Florida. Action News Jack's chief meteorologist Mike Burrish delivers the timing, impact, and most importantly, when skies clear up. Get the 5-day forecast 4 times an hour every weekday morning on Jacksonville's Morning News from 5 till 9 a.m. This is 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
Visit CritterGetter.com to learn why 3 generations of families trust Peninsular Pest Control with their interior and exterior pest problems. Ask about the $30 discount on new services.
There's nothing like sitting down for a personal conversation with Eddie and Chuck from Farah and Farah. And you can do that every Saturday at noon on 104.5 WOKV. I'm Scott Young, and you can join me, Eddie, and Chuck every Saturday on the Consumer Law Hour, where they break down everything from personal injury to civil rights. Be a part of the conversation on the Consumer Law Hour, brought to you by Farah and Farah, every Saturday at noon on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
Homeowners, 'tis the season to save big on your mortgage payments with a refi from True Mortgage. Interest rates continue to drop to near all-time lows, so cash in this season and celebrate the holidays with a gift from True Mortgage. Get a 15-year fixed at just 1.875% rate, 2.14% APR with low lender fees. That's right, a 15-year fixed at just 1.875% rate, 2.14% APR, and we'll pay your title, escrow, and appraisal fees. Some extra cash in those stockings this holiday season. 'Tis indeed the season for joyous savings on your mortgage payments. Call 800-705-6885. 800-705-6885. That's 800-705-6885. Or visit GetTrueMortgage.com. Sign on the line, Inc. DBA True Mortgage is located at 100 Spectrum Center Drive, Station 520, Irvine, California, 92618. NMLS number MLD 1713. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender.
Small business owners sometimes go broke. My first business startup in the 80s was a fledgling startup story. Credit cards were maxed, car had bald tires, house had broken windows, and my employees got paid before I did. But my diet of hot dogs and mac and cheese was to die for. Hi, I'm Mike Capel, founder and CEO of Patriot Software. My business startup was messy. Actually, I was broke. My wife and I lived on fumes for 4 years. To escape our financial reality, we played board games and dreamt of someday owning our own boardwalk and park place. That's why I created my 5th successful company, Patriot Software, to help small business owners do their payroll without going broke. And if you need help, we will help you for free. Go to patriotsoftware.com and enter promo code RADIO, and I'll give you 2 months of payroll processing free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
Is the cost of finishing the basement worth the benefit of some peace and quiet?
When questions find you, Merrill Edge Self-Directed Investing can help you find answers with personalized planning tools and insights to help you get where you want to go, even if it's just downstairs. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/withinreach to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured, are not bank guaranteed, and may lose value.
At home with Rob.
Carolers, that's the holiday spirit. Speaking of which, Simply Safe Home Security is having a huge holiday sale. Right now, you can get 40% off a new system and a free camera at simplysafe.com/holiday. That's 40% off the system U.S. News named the best of 2020. Simply Safe protects your whole home 24/7 with monitoring by professionals. The sale ends soon, so go to simplysafe.com/holiday for 40% off and a free camera today.
The hardest part of any goal is oftentimes getting started. All month long, we're going to help you get started on the path for a happier you for free and without having to leave your home. If your business would like to get involved, visit GetStartedJax.com.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
A 10 on the WOKV weather meter. After some patchy morning fog, we'll give way to partly sunny skies to partly cloudy skies in the afternoon. Mild temperatures reaching the low 70s. Just an isolated shower possible for today and into the evening, an isolated sprinkle or shower. But again, a lot of neighborhoods stay dry. Overnight will be partly cloudy with an isolated inland shower early, but overnight lows in the upper 50s with some areas of fog developing. With your First Alert forecast, I'm Action News Jax meteorologist Garrett Bedenbaugh for 104.5 WOKV.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Get the 3 big things you need to know newsletter. The stories that matter to you delivered straight to your inbox every weekday morning. Sign up now on WOKV.com. Powered by Safe Touch Security.
Welcome back to the Home and Garden Show, 6:55. It's a Saturday morning. Wally Conway, that's me from HomePro Inspections. Larry O'Neill from Larry's Garden, that's him, taking your calls at 855-765-1045. Love to hear from you if you're available. You know, Larry, we've been talking the last couple of weeks about really great Christmas gifts for the homeowner, for the gardener, the person who just enjoys tinkering around. I was introduced to a new flashlight this week that I have never seen before. You know, the origin of the flashlight. Remember back in the day when the Streamlight was the right one? It had like 4 D-cell batteries. A lot of police officers use those. Other people use them. It almost looked like a nightstick. Well, I started out with those in the home inspection universe. Had a little thing on the tool belt, on our belt to carry that flashlight. And I just loved that. But then along came Stinger and made them smaller and lighter, yet brighter. That was really cool. And the next evolution of the flashlight, as I'm kind of a flashlight aficionado, we've got 10 guys crawling around in the dark with flashlights, is the Badger. And it's new to the market. It's new to the country. And it's actually founded, the company is a Jacksonville-based company. It's a pretty cool flashlight, but this thing is 1,500 lumens. It's way brighter than anything else on the market. And it's really interesting about the battery life on this thing. It will stay charged for 2 years. So people who use a flashlight, like we use a flashlight at HomePro, you're charging your flashlight just about every night, because you're out there and it's got to be at optimal performance every day. And every other day you're charging. But for many homeowners, that flashlight, you got your flashlight, it's sitting in a drawer, or it's sitting in your car, and you might only use it every year or two. It stays charged for 2 years. Some real super special battery technology. It's also the only flashlight I've seen that has a battery indicator right on it. So you can see it sitting there, and if the battery is going kaputs, the battery indicator tells you that. So it's really neat. It's a fantastic design. It's the next wave of flashlights. They are not the cheapest flashlight in America. They retail at $120, but they're available online now at their website, Badger Flashlights. They're $89, and what a great light! It feels good in your hand. I really liked it. It's rare you see something new that captures your fancy, but I wouldn't have bumped into it except they're a Jacksonville-based company. I was like, oh, son of a gun, tell me the story. And I'm like, yeah. I'm expecting to hear nothing very interesting, but it actually is a newer, better way to do it. Both the battery technology, the light technology, it's got all these crazy features. You got like 6 or 8 different light settings and beams and SOS and Morse code, anything you want in a light. So if you're looking for something pretty cool, you don't even need to go to the store. They're not available in stores yet. BadgerFlashlights.com. pretty freaking cool. Pretty cool. What's your latest gift idea?
My latest gift idea would be I love the compost spreader. I love that. I forgot. Yeah, that's a great gift, for those who love to garden a lot. Or a Brazilian orchid tree. They're a beautiful plant, beautiful white orchid-like flowers. They're cold sensitive, but if they die to the ground, they're root hardy and cold sensitive. What I mean by that is that if you live up in New Jersey, where you're from, all your plants there are root hardy. That means they die to the ground and then they come back every year from the root mass. Well, the Brazilian orchid is a tree, but it actually, in our climate, it will become like a small perennial shrub or perennial, and it dies to the ground, and then it flowers that same season in midsummer with a cloud of white flowers, white orchid-like flowers. And they're great in containers, because you just drop it in there. They're pretty drought tolerant, and when they freeze up, just chop off the top, and then there'll be a nice container plant for the summer with lots of color. So those are two good ideas right there.
That's a fantastic idea. It's 7 o'clock here at News 104.5 on Home and Garden Show. We've got Fox News traffic, weather, and the second wonderful hour of the Home and Garden Show featuring you. Love to hear from you at 855-765-1045. We'll be right back.
WOKV-FM Atlantic Beach, broadcasting from the Talon Wealth Management Studio. Listen everywhere in the TuneIn Radio app. 104.5 WOKV, a Cox Media Group station.
It's go time for a coronavirus vaccine. I'm Pam Puso, Fox News. Final approval of the Pfizer vaccine was granted last night by the FDA. Shots are now being readied for healthcare workers and nursing home residents.
The vaccine supply secured by the Trump administration's Operation Warp Speed is being distributed to states pro rata based on population, but some metro areas will get their own allotment, as will federally managed healthcare systems such as the VA and the Indian Health Service. While the guidelines are that frontline medical workers and facility-bound seniors be afforded the first chances for vaccination, each state can decide who to prioritize.
Fox's Evan Brown says by the end of this month, it's estimated that 20 million Americans could be inoculated.
Pfizer and Moderna have announced their vaccine is approximately 95% effective, far exceeding expectations.
President Trump hailing the vaccine on a day when new virus cases, hospitalizations, and deaths all reach new records in the U.S., according to Johns Hopkins. Another dead end in court for President Trump and his efforts to overturn the election. The U.S. Supreme Court will not consider a lawsuit brought by Texas that sought to nullify the elections in 4 battleground states.
The American people observed 2 different realities on election night. They looked at Ohio and Florida, and they saw an election system that worked, one where we knew the winner, one where there was no confusion or chaos, one where there were observers. And then they looked and they saw Pennsylvania and Georgia and Michigan and Wisconsin, where we didn't know for days. Election day became election week.
Advisor to the Trump campaign, Kayleigh McEnany, speaking to Fox's Sean Hannity. The Supreme Court in Wisconsin will hear a case brought by the Trump campaign. Oral arguments are scheduled for today. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, local news from CBS 47, Fox 30 Action News Jax.
I'm Action News Jax anchor Lorena Inclan for 104.5 WOKV. Our top story. Congress will pass a bill to keep the government open for another week to buy more time for COVID-19 relief aid. The talks are stalled, but the lawmakers say they won't leave for the year without passing the next round of help. A $900 billion plan does not include $1,200 checks for Americans, but does include $300 weekly federal unemployment checks. A reminder to all business owners, Jacksonville's eviction and foreclosure prevention program has started taking applications. Applicants may receive up to $10,000 to save their businesses. Keep in mind, there's a list of eligibility requirements you must meet. Clorox wipes remain in high demand as COVID-19 cases continue to surge. One of the company's executives said the wipes shortage could last until mid-2021. He says they are producing more wipes than ever, but the demand is staying incredibly high. They plan to increase production by February. Join us tonight at 10:30 on Fox 30.
Don't just trim your trees for a hurricane. Trim and maintain your trees for you and your family to be safe. You live under them after all. Call the professionals at Big Bench Tree Service for all your trim needs. 904-641-1131. That's 904-641-1131.
As a woman, you've spent years taking care of everyone else. When you retire, it's finally your turn. And here's a little secret. Women and men have different needs and different emotions when it comes to retirement. What to do? Listen to Woman's Worth Radio each Sunday at 10 a.m. Woman's Worth founder Jeanette Bajalia believes your retirement isn't just about the money. It's about your total health. Woman's Worth Radio, Sundays at 10 a.m.
Hey, it's for us guys, too.
Listen to Woman's Worth Radio this Sunday at 10 a.m.
What can you get done in 10 minutes? Run a mile? Maybe. Find a date online for this Friday? Easy. What about listing your home for sale? In 10 minutes? Can't be possible. With the new Instant List tool from Rex, it is. Rex Instant List allows you to value and list your home with an agent in as little as 10 minutes. With the real estate market getting hotter, time is money. Let's get started. Visit sellwithrex.com. Since 2015, Rex has provided sellers with over $25 million in savings and absolutely no sacrifice on service. Have 10 minutes to spare? Visit sellwithrex.com to get started. Or speak to a Rex agent at 833-739-4663. 833-739-4663. That's 833-739-4663. Minimum fee may apply. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
License number, Florida, CQ 1057788.
So you're a small business, or a big one. You were thriving, but then, you encountered an obstacle. So how do you bounce back? You don't. You bounce forward. Time to think, plan, pivot. With Comcast Business and powerful connectivity, get serious internet that lets you go bigger. All powered by the nation's largest gig speed network. So you can do more searching, more sharing, more shipping. Which means you've got more time for planning, for making, for running the show. That sounds great if everyone's in the office, but what if no one's in the office? Bring the office to them. From bandwidth at HQ to bandwidth at home. But is your network secure? Of course it's secure. It helps protect connected devices. But how do you do this? You don't do this. We do this together. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next, and bounce forward with Comcast Business. Go to ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
If you haven't been to Toyotathon at Arlington Toyota yet, what are you waiting for? Now is the time. Don't wait. Toyotathon is definitely on, but going fast at Arlington at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard. It's Rich Jones. Give yourself the gift of a new Toyota this holiday season with Arlington's low lease deals that give Toyotathon its name. Want to know how good the Toyotathon savings are? How about a new 2021 Tacoma SR5 double cab V6? Lease it for just $249 a month. Or get behind the wheel of a new 2021 4Runner SR5 and lease it for as low as $369 a month. And with every new vehicle purchase from Arlington Toyota, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind. That's thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy. 30 days to love it or exchange it. Toyotathon, don't wait. Shop safely in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for full detail.
Hurricane season brings out the door knockers and storm-chasing roofers. Don't be misled by claims of free roof replacements. Get a free estimate at jackcwilsonroofing.com and avoid the fine print and hidden fees. Jack C. Wilson Roofing, the first name in Jacksonville roofing.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
A check on the WOKV weather meter. After some patchy morning fog, we'll have partly sunny to partly cloudy skies today. Mild temperatures in the low 70s. And a few isolated afternoon showers possible extending into the early evening, but many neighborhoods stay dry. Overnight lows drop down into the mid to upper 50s with some areas of fog developing once again. With your First Alert Forecast, I'm Action News Jax meteorologist Garrett Beatonball for 104.5 WOKV.
This is the WOKV Ask the Experts Weekend, discussing things that matter most to you. Local experts answering your questions. Call 855-765-1045. That's 855-765-1045. Now, the Home and Garden Show with Wally Conway and Larry O'Neill.
Good morning. It is 7:09 here on a beautiful Saturday morning in Jacksonville, Florida. For those of you just joining us, you're listening to the Home and Garden Show. Home and Garden Show is heard every single Saturday from 6 until 8 a.m. right here on News 104.5. WOKV, the Home and Garden Show features Larry O'Neill from Larry's Garden, bringing us 25 plus years toiling in the soil, all things landscape, hardscape, pergolas, and ponds, sharing with you those things that are appropriate to do this week in your garden, as well as interesting obstacles they've overcome in landscapes and garden projects around the region. Me, Wally Conway from HomePro Inspections, bringing you 25 plus years crawling about in attics and crawl spaces, sharing with you those things that are seasonal to care to in your home, as well as the obstacles we've helped clients overcome during the course of the week in their home buying and home renovation troubleshooting projects. The highlight of the show for us, though, is having you join us with your calls, your questions, your thoughts, just sharing commentary on how the week has been in your home or your garden. The number to call is 855-765-1045, and that's really all there is to it, Larry. It's pretty darn simple when you get thinking about it.
No problem. Some of the things that were going on this week is in the lawn. The lawn things are going. But I've noticed that people are having problems as I'm driving around. Is brown patch is really taking off. So if you're do-it-yourself person, you want to make sure that you put down some lawn fungicide now and water it in, and it just takes care of it pretty quickly. Just with this temp weather, these huge swings in weather really promotes the growth of a brown patch. Do you see any in your concrete over there, Wally, in your patio?
No, the concrete is looking good on the patio. Yeah, I have to tell you a funny thing. You mentioned the patio. I sort of like rules, except when the rules impact me. And we were cited several months ago for illegal plants on our patio. The way that we had them hanging in the balcony was deemed illegal, and the way that we had them sitting on the ledge was deemed illegal. And then we also had this curtain to block off one area that wasn't very attractive that we could pull over if we were sitting out there to give us privacy and the neighbor privacy. That was deemed illegal. So, John,
oh my gosh.
Yes, she wrote 3 separate appeals. They were separate documents because we were cited for 3 separate violations. And at the board meeting this past week, our curtain was deemed legal. We can now use our curtain in an appropriate manner, and had all these restrictions on color and a bunch of other stuff. But we now have a legal curtain. I feel better about myself.
All right. Progress.
The hanging plants, which were deemed illegal, we made the compelling case that the condo building is 61 years old. And in point of fact, the hooks and hangers and locations where we were hanging were pre-existing conditions, that they had been there without problem for the last half century, and that we were merely using existing hangers, and that was deemed legal. Our plants on the wall, we have we're on the 3rd story, concrete wall that's about, it's just a bit more than waist high. It's a fairly tall wall, so you don't fall overboard. It's instead of a railing. But it's as wide as a concrete block, so it's 8 feet wide plus stucco on each side. It's not feet, inches. It's almost 10 inches wide, and we had 6-inch pots on it, kind of sitting in the center. They were deemed as a hazard to life and limb of the people below, potentially, even though there's no sidewalks or anything below. So our flower pots on the ledge were deemed illegal. So I have the choice of putting them on a stand that sits on the floor, or hanging them on the now legal hooks. So it's kind of interesting.
Okay, you did good. You're doing better than Trump, 2 out of 3.
And we didn't even have to go to the Supreme Court. Just
have to go to the Supreme Court.
It's interesting. Everything about associations that's favorable is everything that's not. And the goal of every association, whether it's ours or any community organization, is to maintain the safety, the appearance, and the value of the group. And every now and then, that particular rule, I'm not really in favor of that one. And so maybe you go up to the line, and sometimes you cross the line and you get whacked. But It's all good. Everybody's nice to everybody. Oh, I know what the other thing was. This was kind of funny. There was a fourth appeal. I almost forgot. Our hummingbird feeders were deemed illegal, but we got that one worked out. So.
Oh, well, man, you're doing good. 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. Yeah.
Not bad.
Feeders. And I think, you know, we have a lot of hummingbirds over here because we're on the water. Not right now. You know, they're out of season or whatever.
Yeah.
All that. But really active during the, I guess, spring and summer is when they were primarily here. But they're gorgeous. And the way the community is shaped, hummingbird feeders are very popular here. And it's almost like swarms of
they're very popular
in season. So I think there was pressure on the board, positive pressure, you know, in that the community overall is very hummingbird friendly. I mounted them in what I thought was rather a creative way, and it was more creative than any other hummingbird feeder. I won't go into the details because I don't want to cause trouble in anyone else's community. But after careful review, my creative hanging of our awesome hummingbird feeders was deemed legal. Although they weren't deemed legal till after the season, and we had already taken them down for the year. So it's fun.
Well, hey, after about 3 or 4 years, they may reconsider that when they see in the spring migration back up here, they see a black cloud of hummingbirds beelining for your house in the feeders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
hey,
you put them out
here's
a couple of years.
Story.
I mean,
you may remember this story from Orlando. Do you know, as you're coming down I-4, when you first come into downtown Orlando, when you look off to the right, there was a lake out there. That lake had a very small island in the center of it, and it had a couple of trees. And those trees appeared white with these gorgeous white birds. I don't remember what kind of bird it is, but there was a beautiful...
Yes. I've seen them in there. Yes.
It was gorgeous. Well, some knucklehead who was looking to protect the quality of the water, they did some water testing and determined that there was an elevated level of bird turds in this water. And they made the case, God knows who wasn't paying attention, and they cut down that tree. And there were hundreds and hundreds, thousands may be an exaggeration, but a zillion of these gorgeous white birds that would roost in that tree. And like you say, you couldn't not drive by and see these things. So where did all those birds go? They went to
the neighbors' houses.
Downtown Jacksonville, downtown Orlando, and they roosted on light posts and awnings and everywhere else. So
my gosh.
This essentially non-problem of the birds doing what birds do, and that's birds drop bird turds. They happen to be in this waterway, which is very natural, and they transition them to dropping their goods on people's heads in downtown Orlando. Let's go over and check in with Dale, see if we can help him with his peach trees. Dale, welcome to the Home and Garden Show.
Hey, how are you?
Awesome, sir.
Like I was telling the screener, I've got these peach trees. I bought the property about 2 years ago, and they're about 7 inches across at the base.
Wow, that's good size.
And they're prolific. They produce like you wouldn't believe. But the problem that I've noticed is that it has this moss growing off the bark. It's like a lime green moss. That how do you get rid of that?
Well, you can put a little bleach on it, dilute bleach, maybe a couple tablespoons to a gallon of bleach and spray it on there, and it's not going to hurt the tree at all. But, you can put copper on there. I think copper does it too. We'll knock it off, a little bit of copper. But it's lichen, okay? And it's just... It won't really hurt the tree. It's living off the dust and dirt and grime on the tree. It's a kind of a combination of algae type of, it's a plant life, it's not parasitic is what the point I'm trying to make. And but if you want to remove it, you can use a little bit of copper solution on it or a little bit of bleach, and that should do it. You can do some manual removing. It comes off real easy. It's going to be back again, but as long as you stay on top of it, shouldn't be any problem. But congratulations on your new property and your new peach trees. Are they sweet? Are they producing a sweet crop?
Oh yes, sir. They're bigger than an Eisenhower dollar.
Wow.
And they're just as sweet as can be. Now, one other question while I got you on the horn. My great-grandmother, which was born around 1900, used to, first of spring, she would peel back the soil and put potash down on the roots, and then she would put copper nails down in there as well. What all does that achieve?
The potash is a fertilizer, then copper nails for trace elements. I don't think you have to go through that, to that extent anymore, because you could get just buy some citrus, not citrus fertilizer, but some fruit tree fertilizer. Fertilome is a good product. That's a good one. Fruit Tone is another good product. But there's a bunch of fruit tree fertilizer that will be good for you. But that all has that in there. And you won't have to go through the extent of finding copper nails, because they're going to be a little difficult to find. And they're going to be very expensive, so just get some good quality fruit tree fertilizer. All right?
All right. I appreciate it. You have a great day.
Good luck with it, Dale. Appreciate you. It's 7:20 here at News 104.5 on Home and Garden Show. Brief break, jumping right back to the phones. Gosh, do we feel good when we hear from you at 855-765-1045. Stay with us. Right back.
Hey, Alexa, I'm bored.
How about we listen to WOKV?
Yeah, great idea.
We are always just a shout away from your favorite smart speaker.
This is 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's news and talk.
Over 25 years ago, several Jacksonville families spent their holiday season in a way they least expected, worrying about their child who was fighting cancer. Together, they created the Child Cancer Fund to support other local families who would walk a similar path in the future. Thousands of local families have since benefited from their generosity and from yours. And on behalf of the Child Cancer Fund, we wish you a happy holiday season. To learn more about our programs and give today, visit childcancerfund.org. That's childcancerfund.org.
All offers are with approved credit and not in conjunction. See dealer for complete details. Big Finish event.
We're celebrating with employee pricing for all at Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Bay Meadow. You pay what our employees pay. Save up to $11,000 off a brand new Ram. And that's not all.
Get 0% financing.
Make monthly payments for 90 days. Get more for your trade and save for the holiday. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
I-295 and Bay Meadows.
Wally Conway here, Mr. Home Inspection from HomePro Inspections, with important information about home warranties. At HomePro Inspections, we have always recommended that every home buyer had a home inspection and a home warranty. It's much like having a physical exam and health insurance. They work together to protect you. Until now, I have never referred or endorsed a home warranty company because, truthfully, they were all about the same. They were only good for 12 months, they had a long list of coverage exclusions, and they denied pre-existing conditions. The most comprehensive home warranty in America is now available in Jacksonville, covering items denied by others, including water softeners, well pumps, alarm systems, and there's no extra charge for multiple heat pumps or water heaters. When HomePro inspects your home, the warranty is extended to 18 months of coverage at no extra charge. There is no better inspection and warranty package in America. For details and to order your home warranty, visit GoHomePro.com, GoHomePro.com, or call me at 268-8211.
For more than 25 years, the potential for health improvement is seen with each patient that walks through our doors. Healthcare decisions don't have to be confusing. Make Island Doctors your medical practice.
My husband and I have been coming to Island Doctors for approximately 10 years. And we have been very happy with them, and we trust them.
Call us today and schedule a tour of one of our locations near you and take a look at our Best Wellness program. And welcome home.
Call 1-877-434-4676 or visit islanddoctors.com.
Sometimes in business, the unexpected comes calling. From rent increases to increased orders to, I'm going to say it, unprecedented times. But don't bounce back. Bounce forward. with Comcast Business. Bounce forward fast with internet speeds up to 1 gig, with the flexibility to update your bandwidth in just a few clicks, and with security solutions that help keep your connected devices protected. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next, and bounce forward with Comcast Business. Help your business to bounce forward with this amazing offer. Get a powerful and reliable internet and voice solution from Comcast Business, starting at $35 each a month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com today to find out more. Offer ends 12/21/2020. Restrictions apply. Limited to new Comcast Business 35 megabits per second internet and one voice mobility customers. Early termination fee applies. Enrollment in EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment installation, taxes, and fees extra, subject to change.
Rich Jones here. In this season of thanks and giving, I am so thankful to be a partner with Peninsular Pest Control. George and Carolyn and the entire team at Peninsular service every one of my needs. Anytime I have an issue, I have a great, healthy lawn and no bugs coming into the house. Peninsular Pest Control, offering a full array of services for your indoor insects and pest control with extermination and outdoor lawn care spraying. Call the Critter Getter today at 389-3491.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
At 10 on the WOKV weather meter. After some patchy morning fog, we'll give way to partly sunny skies to partly cloudy skies in the afternoon. Mild temperatures reaching the low 70s. Just an isolated shower possible for today and into the evening, an isolated sprinkle or shower. But again, a lot of neighborhoods stay dry. Overnight will be partly cloudy with an isolated inland shower early, but overnight lows in the upper 50s with some areas of fog developing. With your First Alert forecast, I'm Action News Jax meteorologist Garrett Biedenball for 104.5 WOKV.
Ooh, welcome back to the Home & Garden Show, 725 here at 104.5 WOKV. Love to hear from you at 855-765-1045. Larry, have you noticed how many fives we have in our lives? It must be a lucky number. I was back to great Christmas gifts. Not necessarily one that children will enjoy so much, but we're thinking about home, thinking about gardens. 12 days of Christmas. How fascinating would it be to give to your loved one 12 filters, 12 HVAC filters, so that each and every month for the entire year, when they're writing out their rent check or writing out their mortgage check, they can go to the closet, draw out a clean, wonderful, maybe Merv 14 filter, slide that filter into their heat pump, knowing that you're giving them the gift of love, of clean, fresh air, that it will blow through the home and surround the home with love. And your spouse, your partner, your loved one will be gone. My gosh, I've been given gifts, but I'm now given the gift of clean, fresh air every single month. I can hardly wait until next Christmas to receive 12 more gifts, the gift of fresh air with filters. How you liking that idea?
I think it saves money, right? You know, you're going to be like that idea. You keep your coil clean. You get your filter out the dirt and junk, so keep your coil clean. Your system working good. So it sounds like a good idea, long term. But I don't know. I get that as like a fourth one down the line. You give all the other good stuff first, and then you pass that on.
Not the primary gift, but that's an important
gift.
And it kind of keeps giving. It's like when you give a tree or whatever, but you're making it healthy and the house cleaner, fresher, less sweeping and dusting and vacuum, because you've got 12 quality filters. And you can even, if you're that kind of person, you can buy the box of 12, wrap them individually, and then each month you could break out another one and like tape a rose to it and say, it's your breath of fresh air, honey. And that's why I give you this filter with a rose. You're a rose. Is this working? Maybe not. This could just end in divorce. Maybe it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't. But I was reading about filters, that, they have these super filters filter out every kind of viruses and everything like that. But they say that after you use them for like a week or two, they actually can constrict the flow of your, your air conditioning, so what is your opinion on that?
That's true. The air conditioner is designed to have a filter in it, but the finer the filter, the more constrictive the flow is. So once you get above maybe MERV rating of 14, 16 at the most, you really start choking it down. You can look at the specs on your machine. You can find it online to get the maximum filtration you'd want to use. Your HVAC technician can actually measure the pressure drop across the coil as you change filters and help you get the maximum. If we were like at the Mayo Clinic or other medical grade filters, are up toward MERV 19, MERV 20, but that requires a machine that was designed for that level of filtration. But to your point about when we're filtering out allergens and dust and other bacteria, is collecting on that filter. So that's another reason you want to change it regularly, because if you're not changing it, though you may be filtering it, it's living there on that filter and gets into your condensate and everything grows. It's not good. So clean filters, buy them a dozen at a time. They make beautiful gifts. You can give them out all at once, or you can just use them on special days. It's 7:30 here at News 104.5 on Home and Garden Show. We've got Fox News, traffic, weather, and more of the Home and Garden Show with your calls at 855-765-1045. Call now.
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. The Supreme Court refuses to hear the election challenge sought by Texas.
It's believed to be the first time a state has tried to nullify election results in other states. The court finding that Texas had no legal standing to file the challenge. The decision coming just 3 days before the Electoral College meets to finalize the 2020 election results.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt. That lawsuit was backed by 17 other states. Meanwhile, in a Twitter video Friday night, President Trump cheered the FDA's approval of the coronavirus vaccine, made possible in large part, he said, due to his leadership.
Operation Warp Speed is the greatest medical manufacturing endeavor in American history. We are deeply grateful to every person who has worked round the clock on this monumental national project to save lives.
The president said the vaccine is now on its way to every state and zip code to begin distribution. America is listening to Fox News.
Local news from CBS 47, Fox 30 Action News Jax.
I'm Action News Jax anchor Lorena Inclan for 104.5 WOKV. Our top story. Congress will pass a bill to keep the government open for another week to buy more time for COVID-19 relief aid. The talks are stalled, but the lawmakers say they won't leave for the year without passing the next round of help. A $900 billion plan does not include $1,200 checks for Americans, but does include $300 weekly federal unemployment checks. A reminder to all business owners, Jacksonville's eviction and foreclosure prevention program has started taking applications. Applicants may receive up to $10,000 to save their businesses. Keep in mind, there's a list of eligibility requirements you must meet. Clorox wipes remain in high demand as COVID-19 cases continue to. One of the company's executives said the wipes shortage could last until mid-2021. He says they are producing more wipes than ever, but the demand is staying incredibly high. They plan to increase production by February. Join us tonight at 10:30 on Fox 30.
You can't miss the unplanned, unexpected, unbelievable sale Diamonds Direct is having this weekend. All earrings are 25% off Friday through Sunday. Yes, it's a surprise flash sale on all earrings. Diamond studs, diamond hoops, colored gemstone earrings, gold earrings. Best prices ever. Take an extra 25% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable price. It's the perfect ready-to-wrap gift for the women in your life. All diamond studs are included. Special financing available too. A truly epic earring event this Friday through Sunday only, and only at Diamonds Direct.
Off Town Center Parkway, just left of the Hyatt.
Gentlemen, discover the new medical treatment that Viagra doesn't want you to know about. I'm Bradley I with Synergenics Elite Health, and we offer GainsWave. It's a simple 20-minute in-office procedure. GainsWave is non-invasive, and it restores the poor blood flow that causes ED. Stop popping pills and scheduling intimacy. Call 904-500-5500. Consultations are free. Mention this radio station for $150 off your first treatment. Call Synergenics Elite Health at 904-500-5500 to learn about the GainsWave ED treatment today.
Hi, I'm Larry of Larry's Garden. One of my favorite things about the South is great weather, which means more time for outside. And at Larry's Garden, we design, install, and maintain every outdoor project. Need to replace a cracked driveway? We do it. Need a patio, pergola, deck, or pavers? We do it. Let one company, Larry's Garden, complete your entire project. no subcontractors. All work is done by Larry's Garden employees. Low water landscapes, sod replacement, landscape designs that are unbelievable, a complete landscape makeover, we do it. Let one company, Larry's Garden, complete your entire project. Weekly maintenance for communities and commercial locations is also available. For more information, visit larrysgarden.com or call 346-1970. Design, install, maintain. One company, complete project, Larry's Garden.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy payroll customer.
Well, it's very easy to use. From the login and the setup was extremely easy. I didn't have to call anyone for help. I was able to do it on my own. And I love the fact that I can run my payroll and print my pay stubs, and then you guys do all of the filing for me. So I get a quarterly report that everything's been filed on my behalf, and then at the end of the year I can print out my W-2s. So I use you guys. I tell everybody, it's the easiest thing I've ever done. Why anybody doesn't use y'all, I don't know.
Visit us at PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
There's nothing like sitting down for a personal conversation with Eddie and Chuck from Farah and Farah. And you can do that every Saturday at noon on 104.5 WOKV. I'm Scott Young, and you can join me, Eddie, and Chuck every Saturday on the Consumer Law Hour, where they break down everything from personal injury to civil rights. Be a part of the conversation on the Consumer Law Hour, brought to you by Farah and Farah, every Saturday at noon on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
A 10 on the WOKV weather meter. After some patchy morning fog, we'll have partly sunny to partly cloudy skies today. Mild temperatures in the low 70s. And a few isolated afternoon showers possible extending into the early evening, but many neighborhoods stay dry. Overnight lows drop down into the mid to upper 50s with some areas of fog developing once again. With your First Alert Forecast, I'm Action News Jax meteorologist Garrett Beatonball for 104.5 WOKV.
7:36 here at News 104.5 on Home and Garden Show. Wally Conway's here, Larry O'Neill's here, and from Palatka, Skeet is here, whose magnolia trees are losing leaves. Welcome to the Home and Garden Show, Skeet.
How are you this morning?
Good. When did this problem start?
We planted them, on the side of a driveway, and they go down both sides. And originally we had tulip scale, and I used Demon and killed all that, got that knocked back. But I have one or two that they just started losing leaves at the very tip, but I don't see anything on the tree, no bug, no scale or anything, but the leaves are just slowly disappearing as they go down the tree.
How long have they been planted?
About 3 or 4 years now.
That's interesting. Just the new growth leaves are dropping off.
Yeah. At the very tip, you have generally one little spire at the top, and it's just they just started falling off.
It could be, I think if you were talking, we maybe have an insect right at the top, as long as it's not mushy, where you touch it and it's not mushy, but you may have aphids or some type of insect in there, thrips or something in there that's attacking that new leaf bud, because that's tender, really soft, where you take a magnolia tree leaf, it's coarse and tough to eat. You know what I mean? If you're a bug, you're going to be looking just like on citrus, where they mealybugs and aphids and some other bugs will get in the new growth of a citrus tree because, or another new growth of other trees because it's softer and tender. The regular leaves don't go. So get a problem. Hibiscus do the same thing. The new growth gets attacked, the new flower buds. So I would look down inside that new growth area and see if you see something very small. And this is a precautionary thing. You can drench it with a little bit of malathion or some soap and water, and that should resolve your issue. The only other thing I can think of is, trees, when they're dropping their new growth, oftentimes could be a lack of water. But you said you've had them there planted for 4 years.
Yeah.
So they should be well established.
Yeah, there's 20 other trees, in a line there, and there's only like two of them that are doing it. And that's what's so strange about it.
Two on the ends, or two in the middle, or two in the are they right next to each other?
They're about 2 or 3 from the end on each end, one on one side and one on the other. They're far away. Yeah. They're actually far away from each other.
Well, I would also look at I was working on a project, I looked at the viburnum on one side, and I looked at the viburnum on the other side. And one was perfect condition, and the other one was in terrible condition. I mean, we're talking about not more than 3 feet away. So I dug around and checked the water content of that soil, of the one that didn't look good, and that one was completely dry, and the other one was completely moist. So it could be right at say if magnolia needs 25% water content. They're just putting this number out. The soil needs to be 25% for ideal growth. It all could be at that one point, and then you go to 24, then it's going to have a negative result, 23. But I would just look to see at the elevation. If the one's a little higher, those are higher up, and they can be a little more dry, and that could cause them to drop new leaves. I'm just giving you the reasons new leaves drop on magnolias. Either insects have gotten in there, and you go look real careful, and they could be very small, like mites or aphids or anything. Right. And so you have to look for something small, malathion, or check the water content. Move these mulch away, put your finger in there and see how the ground feels, and go over to the ones that look good and put your finger in there. And if you see a remarkable difference in the water, the moisture of the soil, then I would think that those other ones need some more water on them, definitely. And you can check your irrigation at the same time. So,
I've heard... Okay. One other thing, I've heard there's something that you can put around the roots to strengthen the trees, like I had tulip scale, and I'm always looking for that to make sure that doesn't come back. But to inoculation against all that stuff, that they take it up and then it helps them fight it.
Yeah, you can use mycoprin, and it's the common name, or Telstar, and Telstar is. Telstar is a quicker acting. It's a systemic you pull on the root system, and you're out of the scale insect problem pretty much for 6 months. Midocroprin or Merit lasts for about a year. The difference between the two is that the Telstar is more quick uptake, but it doesn't last as long, and Merit is slower to get uptake into the tree, but it lasts about a year. Merit will last a year. So it should be pretty much out of any type of bug issues for a year. And you break the life cycle so you wouldn't have any reoccurrence. Once you drench with Merit or Telstar, you break the life cycle. And then you're all the eggs that are hatched are all going to hatch. They're going to dry up because none of the immatures are going to make it to adulthood to lay eggs, and you break that life cycle. And that area should be 100% clean of insects after you put your application down.
All righty. Thank you very much. I'll see if I can get them going again. All right.
Thanks, sir. You have a great day.
Thanks, Skeet.
All right, you too.
Larry, I mentioned the joy of a person receiving 12 filters for Christmas in a beautiful gift wrap box, and it's about the gift of clean air. What about the gift of clean, pure, fresh, wonderfully tasting water from our friends at Affordable Water? Imagine that. And there's still time to have Affordable Water come to your home, diagnose your water, install an affordable water system for softening or filtration, reverse osmosis, whatever system seems right and appropriate based on your desires, your budget for affordable water, and the input of the folks from Affordable Water, so that as you're having all this wonderful people over to share in the holiday with you in preparation for New Year, your water doesn't stink, Your water doesn't taste bad. Your water doesn't leave spots on your crystal and on your silver. And you are just the Mac Daddy of all things healthy, tasty, and wonderful, because Affordable Water has affordably installed the appropriate equipment, made in America, serviced by them. You can even be on schedule. Talk about wonderful gifts. So that the salt delivery happens automatically. And while they're placing the salt in, they will also be looking at that equipment to assure that it's functioning as it should, that things are clean and fresh and appropriate. The last thing you want to do is purchase some discount junky water item that doesn't have the ability to be serviced, doesn't have parts available, and you're actually making your water less healthy and less fresh and less clean. So our friends at Affordable Water can care to all that. Mark Kinder and his crew, they're actually licensed to do this work, which very few people are. License number W32. The website is affordablewaterjacks.com, and the phone is 262-0197. Today is only the 12th, right? There's 2 weeks to schedule, install, so you've got it exactly the way that you want it, and it'll be beautiful. Start the new year really with that gift of healthy, clean, fresh, enjoyable water. No more hard water. Friends don't let friends do laundry and cleaning with hard water. Beautiful.
Yes,
beautiful.
I 100% agree with you. And also, you could really enjoy those creature comforts. Your towels are softer. You're, less time scrubbing the bathroom, because of water, hard water, it's going to be difficult. Your fixtures last longer. They don't scale up. It's amazing the difference.
And your ice cubes are more clear. There's nothing more disgusting than someone bringing you a drink and you look into the glass and there's a chunk of something in the darn ice cube. And you're like, oh, this is just dandy. So they got goobers in the ice that came right out of the refrigerator ice maker. And the water they put in your glass came out of the same nasty device that's putting boogers in your ice cubes.
I know
a lot of times people are hesitant to tell you that, and you're like, man, this freaking Larry's disgusting. He's got boogers in his ice cubes.
Yeah, I know how you hate that stuff on the bottom of your Scotch glass.
It's bourbon glass, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it's true. You want to be clean, you want to be healthy, and you want to present your home in the best possible way. And clean, fresh water from Affordable Water is a way to do that. So, that's how I feel.
Give him a call.
Mm-hmm.
But that would make a great Christmas gift, along with another Christmas gift. I always think is a good file. You know why I like a good file? Because when you're working around the garden,
a nail file, a wood file.
Yeah, a metal file. There's nothing that's more irritating than to have a dull shovel. I mean, sharpening the shovel no one ever sharpens their shovel. It makes digging so much easier to have a sharp shovel. And it's amazing just if you take 15 minutes if you're out working, if you're a gardener and you're out working in your garden, or if you're out doing any project, you should, before you begin your work with your shovel, sharpen it. It cuts through the sod, it cuts through any roots. And then if you're talking about shovels, there's a pony shovel. What I call it a pony shovel, a cut shovel. It's a shovel. I don't know if I've ever shown you one. I think I have. It's got a forged steel head on it. It's so in the handle is made out of steel, and it weighs about 20 pounds. And once you sharpen that thing, you could cut through a root that's maybe 3 inches in diameter. It will cut through anything. And so it's a great tool, and they're expensive. They're around $80 to $110, and but it's a lifetime shovel. You buy one of these, you don't ever need to buy another one.
How big is the head on it? How big is the head on it?
It's a little smaller than a spade, where you have a spade shovel with the curved front. It's just a little bit smaller than that. It's not curved like for holding dirt as well. It's just a little bit of curve, but it's mostly made for cutting through grass, cutting through roots, digging up plants, those type of things. And it's a lifetime shovel. You could have bought one when you were 25 and you'd still have it, and it would still be working well. And keep a sharp edge on that's a great thing, because shovels, once you get the wooden handle wet, once you get a wooden handle shovel wet, it's you can count the days on that handle. The handles, if you have a wooden shovel handle, which I like them, they're comfortable to use. But if you can put some linseed oil on those, you'll get a lot more life on it. But if you just want to eliminate having anything, get a pony shovel. That's a great.
You may find this amazing, but every shovel I've ever owned lasted a lifetime, including the shovel my mom got for me. It had a little plastic bucket and a plastic shovel when I was about 3 years old.
You're kidding.
To dig sand at the Jersey Shore. I didn't wear that one either. I am not a guy who will ever wear out a shovel. I promise you.
I knew. I was going to say that. You know what I mean? Your shovels are rust before they wear out.
I'll never wear out a shovel. I'll never wear out an axe. It won't happen. It just can't.
Oh, no.
It's 7:50 here at News 104.5 on a Home and Garden Show. Brief break, jumping back for the final segment of the Home and Garden Show, featuring you at 855-765-1045. Stay with us. Right back.
When there's severe weather in the area, we activate the WOKV First Alert Storm Center. And you're never more than 10 minutes away from a severe weather update. This is 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's news and talk.
Don't just trim your trees for a hurricane. Trim and maintain your trees for you and your family to be safe. You live under them after all. Call the professionals at Big Bench Tree Service for all your trim needs. 904-641-1131. That's 904-641-1131.
Rich Jones here. In this season of thanks and giving, I am so thankful to be a partner with Peninsular Pest Control. George and Carolyn and the entire team at Peninsular service every one of my needs. Anytime I have an issue, I have a great, healthy lawn and no bugs coming into the house. Peninsular Pest Control, offering a full array of services for your indoor insects and pest control with extermination and outdoor lawn care spraying. Call the Critter Getter today at 389-3491.
Guys, happy holidays from Prime Men's Medical Center. This has been a trying year, so we want to help you enjoy the holiday season. Suffering from ED or PE? Has Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra let you down? The physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center can have you lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer in the bedroom. See results on first visit guaranteed, or consultation is free. Call 904-217-5646 now and start the new year off with a bang. Call Prime Men's Medical Center, 904-217-5646.
Hey, Rick, it's that time of year again. Time to hang up Christmas lights.
That's right, Jay. But unfortunately, in Jacksonville, a lot of people are going to be hanging their lights over cracked, chipped, peeling, faded paint.
Never paint your house again.
We're celebrating the season with 30% off and giving you a year to pay for it.
If your current paint job hasn't lasted as long as that cheap set of Christmas lights, then you need Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield is a revolutionary ceramic coating that waterproofs and protects any exterior. The bottom line with Rhino Shield, you'll never have to paint again. Right now, get 30% off and don't make any payments for a year. This is our biggest sale of the year. With Rhino Shield, you'll never have to paint again for this holiday season or any other holiday season. Call now, 904-519-5055. This offer expires December 31st. Rhino Shield. It's not paint.
Rhino Shield.
I'm Action News Jack's Tanika Hughes, and one of the great things about living in Jacksonville is our diverse communities. It's so important that the local stories we cover in our newscasts reflect the people who live here. That's why we've launched Action News Jack's Gets Real, to get real on issues like racism, housing challenges, and unequal access to health care. It's having difficult conversations, as well as celebrating people making a difference. This is Action News Jack's Gets Real. Real talk, real change.
As a woman, you've spent years taking care of everyone else. When you retire, it's finally your turn. And here's a little secret. Women and men have different needs and different emotions when it comes to retirement. What to do? Listen to Woman's Worth Radio each Sunday at 10 a.m. Woman's Worth founder Jeanette Bajalia believes your retirement isn't just about the money. It's about your total health. Woman's Worth Radio, Sundays at 10 a.m.
Hey, it's for us guys, too.
Listen to Woman's Worth Radio this Sunday at 10 a.m.
The hardest part of any goal is oftentimes getting started. All month long, we're going to help you get started on the path for a happier you for free and without having to leave your home. If your business would like to get involved, visit GetStartedJax.com.
Welcome back to the Home and Garden Show. It is 7:54 on this, the final segment of the Home and Garden Show. Let's check in with my good buddy Nick Howland from the Fire Watch to talk about an important mission we've got here as we're coming on the holiday season. Nick, welcome to the Home and Garden Show.
Thanks for having me, Wally. Good morning.
So to set the stage, Fire Watch is focused on and dedicated to preventing veteran suicide. We're losing one veteran every single week here in the WOKV listening area, the 5-county area. Tell us about Fire Watch. What can we do to help stop this problem, especially now we're in the Christmas season?
Well, that's a great question, Wally, and I appreciate it because there is a role for everybody in veteran suicide prevention. So to back up to numbers, like you said, we're losing one a week in Northeast Florida. Nationwide, we're losing over 6,000 a year, and we have since 2008. So the federal government has known about this issue, so their response has always been to put more money into the VA's, mental health counseling. So you can almost look at their budget at the VA and see $1 billion more every year. But that hasn't stemmed the tide of veteran suicides. So the Fire Watch was launched with the mindset that we need to prevent veteran suicides, that we need to be more early intervention, upstream, involve the community. Make sure the community knows that we have a veteran suicide problem. Make sure the community knows how to identify risk signs of veterans who might be in crisis and how to help get those veterans the resources they need. So,
Nick, it's so important too. There's these hundreds of millions of dollars available from the federal government to help veterans in distress, yet the person who's in distress isn't aware there's any help. That's why they're in distress. And the role of Fire Watch is to have people like you, people like me, people like Larry, we're all veterans, to be on the outlook and to reach out to the community to teach others what are the symptoms, what are the indicators, and what is the easy, rapid way to have a conversation to direct help toward those people. That's what's so great about Fire Watch.
Exactly. And we launched a program to do just that called the Watchstander Program. Anyone can join. It's available at thefirewatch.org. And it takes just about 30 minutes to train. And what you get trained on is exactly what you said, Wally, which is to identify the risk signs of veterans. I learn how to ask a veteran if they need help and learn how to get them the help they need. And it's really a neat program because what we, it involves the whole community basically putting its arms around veterans and saying, we're not going to stand for this problem continuing to worsen. We're going to do something about it now. And if you think about it, a veteran is somebody who's written a blank check for up to and including their lives for their country. So the least that we can do as a country or community is take care of them when they're no longer on active duty.
And it's across all ages and all types of service, whether the veteran had been retired or discharged long ago. We've still got veterans from World War II, from Korea, and we're creating new veterans every day. So the need is really there. And another important thing, Nick, I think for people to know, Fire Watch is completely funded. It's for our 5-county area. No one is asking for a donation. All we're asking is take a few minutes, sign up for Fire Watch. It's thefirewatch.org. Do the brief training. We've made the commitment at HomePro Inspections. Our entire staff will be members of the Fire Watch. Larry's a veteran. I'm a veteran. I know we can really get this word out. You don't need to be a veteran to participate. You don't need to have a large company. You could have a large company. You could have a small company. You could just be an individual that says, that's important. I think I'll participate with the Fire Watch. What else can we do to be helpful, Nick?
Well, you've said it right there. I mean, we have kind of put a number in mind. We have 150,000 veterans in Northeast Florida. So we want 10,000 community watchstanders. And, for you to commit that for all your employees at HomePro Inspections to sign up as watchstanders is amazing and helps us get towards that number, because we have calculated that if we have 10,000 people out there who are aware of the risk signs, they'll be able to guide a veteran to the help they need before they slip into suicidal ideation. It's a little bit like CPR. You know, when the American Heart Association said, all right, we have much better success if someone takes early action with somebody in heart distress before they get to the emergency room, much higher success rate of survival. So in a similar way, if we can have people out there, bystanders, such as those who know CPR but instead have been trained as watchstanders, to take early action to help ward off or get a veteran the help they need before they slip into crisis, we'll have great success. So,
well, we're going to do it. We're committed to it. Nick, I have to share with you, Larry and I are on a very important mission also here in Northeast Florida. Every day, people get in their car, they're going to visit friends, they're going to work, and they're forgetting a vital thing in their car. What is it that people keep forgetting, Larry?
Their turn signals.
Use your turn signal. I want to thank Nick Hallam from Firewatch for being with us. TheFirewatch.org. It's the gift that keeps giving. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Wally. Thank you, Larry.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Man.
WOKV-FM Atlantic Beach, broadcasting from the Talon Wealth Management Studio. Listen everywhere in the WOKV app, 104.5 WOKV, a Cox Media Group station.
Millions of doses on the move. I'm Pam Huso, Fox News. Now that the FDA has okayed the nation's first coronavirus vaccine, the next step is getting it to the people who need it most.
Some 6 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine will be distributed across the country beginning this weekend. UPS is leading operations in the East, FedEx in the West. The first shots could be given in just days. Doctors and nurses, as well as the elderly, are expected to get the first shots. Operation Warp Speed officials want to get nearly all Americans vaccinated, which will require a Herculean effort. While the CDC has provided a guide to whom should get the vaccine first, state governments will ultimately make those decisions.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. Across the country, there are more than 630 vaccine distribution points. The number of Americans hospitalized with the virus has never been higher, 108,000 according to Johns Hopkins. New infections yesterday also set a record, nearly 233,000. Another lawsuit aimed at overturning the results of the presidential election made it to the steps of the U.S. Supreme Court, but it won't go any further. The High Court rejected the case brought by Texas, which challenged the elections in 4 key battlegrounds, including Pennsylvania.
The case lays out allegations which, if true, would allege that the election was conducted illegally on any number of grounds, constitutional grounds.
President Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, tells Fox's Sean Hannity the fight will continue despite another setback. A driver in New York City is being questioned after her car careened into a crowd of protesters last night.
They were in the middle of the intersection, the protesters protesting in solidarity with ICE detainees in New Jersey on a hunger strike when that vehicle accelerated through the intersection.
Reporter Matt King with Fox 5 in New York. 6 people were hospitalized. America's listening to Fox News.
This is 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's news and talk.
At home with Robert, retired burglar and family man.
Carolers! That's the holiday spirit. Speaking of which, SimpliSafe Home Security is having a huge holiday sale. Right now, you can get 40% off a new system and a free camera at SimpliSafe.com/holiday. That's 40% off the system U.S. News named the best of 2020. SimpliSafe protects your whole home 24/7 with monitoring by professionals. The sale ends soon, so go to SimpliSafe.com/holiday for 40% off and a free camera today.
Is the cost of finishing the basement worth the benefit of some peace and quiet?
When questions find you, Merrill Edge Self-Directed Investing can help you find answers with personalized planning tools and insights to help you get where you want to go, even if it's just downstairs. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/withinreach to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
At 10 on the WOKV weather meter. After some patchy morning fog, will give way to partly sunny skies to partly cloudy skies in the afternoon. Mild temperatures reaching the low 70s. Just an isolated shower possible for today and into the evening. An isolated sprinkle or shower But again, a lot of neighborhoods stay dry. Overnight will be partly cloudy with an isolated inland shower early, but overnight lows in the upper 50s with some areas of fog developing. With your first alert forecast, I'm Action News Jax meteorologist Garrett Beadenball for 104.5 WOKV.
The following hour was paid for by the host and does not reflect the opinion of 104.5 WOKV or Cox Media Group.
Mike Lester is a registered representative of and offers securities through World Equity Group, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors. Talent Wealth Management and Retirement Wealth Advisors are separate entities and are not owned or controlled by World Equity Group, Inc.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know.
It is just a few more weeks till Christmas, and the song Holly Jolly Christmas was actually written by Johnny Marks, the same guy who wrote Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So a little behind the music there for you as you join us here for Guarding Your Nest Egg with Mike Lester, of course, the founder of Talent Wealth Management. Mike, I got to ask you, have you thrown up the decorations? Have you started checking off your list? Where are you at with this?
Well, we're pretty close. Started the process. Basically, there's Christmas is all over our living room right now. It hasn't been adjusted yet. It's the tree. Getting the tree up. We went artificial several years ago after a mishap with a live tree that was full of bugs.
Oh my gosh!
And that made for a really interesting few days.
Sure
getting
did.
all of the millions of bugs out of the house. So we went artificial, and it's heavy. It's complicated. All the branches are smashed up. So then I have to spend literally an hour kind of on each little branch, straightening it out, making sure it looks okay, make sure one side of the tree's not flat. And then I'm just hoping the lights work. If they don't, then I'm wrapping. This is one of the ones that already has lights on it.
Yeah, you have to replace them.
And then, and there's no way to find it. Then I wind up wrapping a tree with lights that already has lights, and it just turns into a whole thing. And it's... I'm looking forward to how much fun the kids are going to have with it, but I don't look forward to putting up that Christmas tree. I have to dangle out off the side of a ladder just to get the top of that thing on, and frankly, it scares me. It frightens me.
I was going to call you a Scrooge, but I get that. I mean, it's a lot of work, man. Pulling all that stuff out of the attic, and all of a sudden you're like, why do we have so many tubs of this? What is going on? And then, you work so hard, you put it up, then you sit back, you have a glass of wine, and you enjoy it, and you go, it was all worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah, and the occasional silverfish that runs out of some box, right, from the garage where all the stuff's at. It's I'm not a Scrooge, but I'm not looking forward to the Christmas tree part. Once it's up, I'll be happy. Then I'll dread taking it back down.
What about shopping? Are you that guy that goes Christmas Eve to get everything done for your wife and everybody?
Not so. No, I get that. I'm not that. I'm
You're
not last
prepared.
minute on that. I'm pretty prepared on that.
Okay,
I don't want to
good.
be bouncing around. There's always the last minute somebody who's going to come to Christmas that you didn't realize was going to be there, and so you didn't have a present. But we'll get it all squared away. How about you guys? What's going on?
I haven't done any decorating yet. I'm just like you. I'm dreading pulling everything out of the attic, and I literally dread that day. But then once everything is set up and it's beautiful, and I enjoy it throughout the month. And I've seen a lot of people literally right after Halloween, their Halloween, orange and black lights outside went to red and green. I think people started decorating earlier than usual. 2020 has been that kind of year where people said, forget it. I need something to look at to make me happy, to make me smile. And you talk about being prepared for the holidays. That's what we're here to talk about here on the show, being prepared for your financial future. And that's, of course, where Mike comes in. Mike, you've been doing this for over 20 years, right? You've made it your job, your mission in life to help people like me and our listeners make those sound, fundamental decisions when it comes to our finances. And with that, if you're close to retirement, you may be trying to decide where to put your nest egg. Stocks can pay off over time, but they're risky. And bonds are more stable, but they're not paying much. And interest rates, well, we all know that interest rates are paying next to nothing. So what other options are there? Well, John Schlifsky, CEO of Northwestern Mutual, tells Yahoo Finance that retirement savers should be looking at guaranteed income.
You work your whole life, you've built up a nest egg, you're set to retire. And if you go into that without any guaranteed income at all, except maybe Social Security, which is basically a very subsistence kind of living, you put a lot of your retirement at risk. And so I think annuities that provide this guaranteed income are a great product, especially in retirement. And I think you're going to see more and more people do it because they have no other means to lock up their savings into some form of lifetime income.
So, Mike, let's break this down here. Brass tacks. Is this whole lifetime income everything it's cracked up to be?
Nothing against John, but that was a little one-sided. For those of our listeners who don't know, Northwestern Mutual is an insurance company, and insurance companies do things like life insurance. They do annuities. And so that was a self-serving pitch on why people should have annuities and have them for guaranteed income. So I agree that you can get guaranteed income from annuities. I agree that there's some annuities out there that might be appropriate for a portion of your investments. But the reality is we got to look at all of the options that are available. Annuities aren't the only way to get guaranteed income. There are other investments like bonds. There are other investments through banks. So there are a variety of ways to get income. You just have to understand what all of your options are. And if you're not aware, just find somebody that can help you make an informed decision.